Happy Saturday to you, and welcome to today's show. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore, and this is the Saturday before Christmas, and I just want to say Merry Christmas before we go a step further. A lot of people say season's greetings and happy holidays, but I am all for Merry Christmas because that's what it's about, and we need to remember the reason for the season. Christ was born on Christmas Day, and I understand that we don't know for sure if he was born on December the 25th, but it is a day that has been set aside to pay tribute to the birth of our Christ Jesus, because we do know that he was born, and so thankful, so grateful that we have a Savior, and so thus the celebration of Christmas. So I hope that everyone is finished with their holiday shopping, and I have to admit that I have not even started. I don't even have my Christmas tree up yet, but I am working on it, and I will get it done hopefully before next week. It has to be before next week because, of course, Christmas is next Saturday. But before we begin with today's show, I want to give out a few URLs, starting with the Spreaker one. That is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. Of course, my Facebook is https://www.facebook.com/Vivian E. Moore. And my Twitter handle is God's Property 46. My Instagram is https://Instagram.com/God's Property 51. And if you want to check out my website, it is http://vivianemore.wix.com/author Vivian E. Moore. And also, if you want to email me, that is authorvivianemore@gmail.com. All right, so now that we've got all of those things out of the way, let's move on with today's show. The title is Life is Like a Box of Chocolates, and the topic is the adventures of creativity. All right, so I love the movie Forrest Gump, and his ability to use his mind to share all the different scenarios he envisioned. And for those of us who has seen the movie, right away we see his disabilities, those of his body, but his mind was unlimited, free and clear to wander wherever it took him. Do you ever wonder why Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz followed the yellow brick road? Sure, the Munchkins, they suggested it, but it was her sense of adventure also that took her on a remarkable journey. Creativity is very much like that. The mind is a wondrous, living, thinking organism all of its own, that can take us on our own personal trip to wherever we want to go. As a child, I was a daydreamer, and actually I still am. I find myself sometimes just staring off into the unknown. My mind is never a blank screen. Even while I sleep, I am exposed to many facets of the imagination. The question was asked once to a group of individuals that I happen to be in the midst of. And the question was, do you dream? Well, the response for most of the occupants in the room was, no, never. Now, of course, I'm always the odd one, and I replied, yes, all the time, and in vivid colors. While they stared at me as if I was the elephant in the room, I marveled at how the mind works. While I dreamt in Technicolor, their minds were a gigantic void. I'm not a scientist. Therefore, I had to research why some people dream and others don't. The consensus is everyone dreams during sleep. But not everyone recalls the mental escapade the next day, and even scientists aren't sure why. Some people more than others can't remember. Well, if you want to check this information out, if you want to read the article for yourself, I found this on lifescience.com. So if you just want to click on that and just do a Google search or whatever, and read the article for yourself. But I am not the type of person who enjoys traveling, especially on the highways and the byways, because I have a phobia that's related to being on the interstate with big trucks, as my grandson says. But through imagination, I can go wherever I desire. I can seek out new worlds and new civilizations to fully go where no man has gone before. Okay. I was channeling Star Trek there for a moment, but now I'm going to get back to the topic. So seriously, against my will, my mind has free reign to go wherever it takes me. Thus, I gather this is the process of a creative mind. If you lack imagination, then, in my opinion, you are stuck in a box without windows and a view to the inner and outside world of your mind. Creativity is a gift from God. We all have it in one form or another, but if you never tap into the wellspring of your imagination, then it stagnates and eventually dries up. Creativity is an adventure, a view of the unknown, untraveled, and a road to imaginable discoveries. Just like dreams, I wondered why some people are more creative than others. Please understand, I am not implying that, there is something lacking in anyone whose minds aren't as high functioning as others, because we all have this ability, but it's how you use the power of the creative mind that makes the difference. Always curious and eager to learn, I also researched the whys and hows of the creative mind. My journey led me to discover why some people are more creative than others are, once again. A 2013 study in the Creativity Research Journal helps shed some light on the subject. Researchers think that creativity is related to temperament, traits such as introversion or extroversion, divergent thinking, the process of generating ideas by exploring many solutions. Okay, this is a very scientific explanation of why the balance of creativity is stronger in some individuals more so than others. However, I live my life on a more spiritual plane, which suggests, as I said before, God instilled many of the same traits in everyone. But how we use them is entirely up to us, because we are quite separate when it comes to processing information. Yes, we all were created equally and of one race as human beings, but creativity is a journey in one's mind as it relates to writing, art, acting, whatever the case may be. What I wanted to do was lay out a case scenario for you as it applies to being creative. However, my main goal is to say that we should never stifle the process. We should allow our minds to flow on a positive stream. It's good for you folks as well, because it reduces stress. When you can relax, relate, release. And that is the truth. At the same time, I know sometimes our minds can take us to places we shouldn't and don't need to go. But it can also lead to a path of wonderfulness too. I love reading and writing. You already know that. But I also love how the mind works. Although I write for a living, I am still amazed by a great story. written by one of my favorite authors, or a book that I'm reading for the first time, or an author that I'm just now learning about for the first time. I love that part of me which is still childlike, innocent, and pure, where I can still imagine and see the story instead of just listening as it unfolds. Creativity is like a box of chocolates. It's filled with variety and the anticipation that each one holds its own sweet secret, just waiting for you to bite into it and taste it. It reminds me of times past when civilizations around the world would travel to uncharted countries to see what their secrets held as well. Imagine, just for a second, if Ponce de Leon had never traveled with Columbus, not in search of a new world, but the fabled fountain of youth. He wouldn't have become famous in his own rights or governor of Puerto Rico. There are so many others, too numerous to mention, that allowed their imagination to lead them on their own discoveries as well. We are capable of this same feat if we allow our mind to course untethered by its own accord. God gave us a wonderful and mind-blowing gift, not only to think and problem solve, but to use it as a remarkable instrument, just like a painter's brush or the paper and pen of a writer, to create things only their mind's eye can see. The wonderful part is they allow us into their world, exposing their most innermost thoughts and ideas. Creativity is that yellow brick road that led Dorothy to new discoveries, the Emerald City, and eventually back home. Much like Dorothy, we can also learn how to be courageous, show humanity through our gifts, all the while using the power of our brains to carry us to wonderful new places. The question is, where do you want to go today? If you tap into the natural resource of your mind, you can be transported to wherever the journey leads. And that's just the beautiful thing of being creative. It's just something about when you sit down and, whether you're a writer, if you're an artist, or if you are someone who writes or plays music, you sit down and you have your own thoughts and ideas of what you want to do, what you want to discover about yourself more. When you put pen to paper, or when you put that brush to that canvas, everything you do is new in your mind's eye. It's something that you've never done before, although you've painted 100 pictures or you've written 50 books. But each time you sit down to be creative, it's always something new. Yes, the process may be the same, but the stories are always different. And that is the beautiful thing to me about having a creative mind. And, if you don't use it, God will shut it down eventually, because He gave us these gifts to use. And, not just only for ourselves, but to inspire other people. And that is one of the other reasons why I love doing this show every Saturday. My weekends are tremendously busy. But for me, being able to do this show every Saturday is not only ministry, but it's a great joy to me, because I feel as though I'm helping someone. I hope that I am. I really do. I hope that I'm helping someone, by giving them inspiration in any way that I possibly can. And, I wish that, when I first started writing, I wish that I would have had a podcast or someone available to me to actually, coach me, or to give me instruction, to give me insight, to inspire me, just to keep me moving, in that right direction, to keep everything that I was doing flowing smoothly. But later, as I started to write, and I would share some of my manuscripts with coworkers and people, friends and family. I would let them read chapters of my books, and just to get their insight and to see if I had something. Because most of the time, especially for new writers, for new authors, they're unsure, because I was too. I was so unsure if I was definitely called to do that. And, I discovered that I was, because, I could sit down and create stories in my mind, and then take those stories from my mind and put them on paper. So, and I know that was a gift. I recognized it, and so I use it, and I want to use it to do good. And so that is another reason why I want to do this show, because I feel as though everyone can use some additional learning, because we never stop learning. And when we do stop learning, that means that either we're dead physically, or we've died mentally. And, we have no control over one thing, but we do have that over the mind. And to be as creative as we can be while we can be, and to not only be creative for ourselves, but to help others to display their creativity as well. Well, this has been a very busy week for me, and last week was my birthday, and so I'm still on that mountaintop. I'm still having that mountaintop experience where I haven't come quite down yet from that. But Thursday, I got such a great treat. I came home, and I always stop at the mailbox before I come into the house. And so when I opened it, of course, it had mail in there, but it also had a box in there. And, with it being the Christmas season, I was thinking that, maybe one of my children had ordered something online, and so they had delivered it and put it in the mailbox. And my hands were too full of stuff to actually read everything that was on the box. So I was juggling things, trying to keep from dropping anything, especially in the mail. And so the minute I got the door unlocked and I stepped into the house, I put everything down. I stopped at the dining room table and I put everything down, and I picked up that box and I read the label that was on it. And I was like, well, this has my name on it, so it must be for me. And so I brought it to my room, and I placed it on the bed, and I opened up the box, and guess what it was? It was my newest novel, If Tomorrow Comes, Requiem. And, I've been telling you about it off and on here for months, that it was in the process, that it was in the works, that I hopefully wanted it to be completed by Christmas, that the publisher would have it out hopefully either before or by Christmas. And lo and behold, they did. Thank you, Lord. They got it out. And so it is now available at all online bookstores, and hopefully next year we'll be able to get it into some brick and mortar stores as well. But for now, I am just so thrilled that I actually have this book in hand, and I wish that you could see the cover of this book, because it is so beautiful. And I just want to share it with everyone, because like I said, I am so happy to finally have this project, the first half of the project over with, because it's a 2-part series. So, and hopefully the second part, maybe it won't take as long as the first book to come out. So, but we'll see. You never know with publishers. And then too, I don't mind the process being lengthy, because because it affects the project at the end. And so, I want it to be as perfect as possible. I know that nothing is perfect, but, I want it to be as close to perfection as it can be. And so, that's why this book took a while to be produced and to finally be printed, and then, placed for public view and for sale. And I just want to tell those who are listening to the show today, whether if you're listening to it live or if you will listen to the uploaded version later on, I just want you to know that if you go to Amazon, that or if you're on Facebook, I don't know if you are one of my Facebook friends or not, but you can definitely check out my Facebook page. I have several, but check out Vivian E. Moore. And because that's where most of my content for the show and things about my book are published. That's why I put them on there, on that specific page. But there is a contest. If you can answer 3 questions, then you will be eligible to win an ebook, my newest book, If Tomorrow Comes, Requiem. You'll be able to win that book. So if you're listening, tell your friends, tell your family to answer those 3 questions. You can just guess because it's multiple choice. So, but you only get one try, and then it moves on to someone else. But you have a great chance of being able to win that book. So I'm excited about it because, like I said, I want everybody to read it, to enjoy it, because it is a great story. And, I put a lot of time and effort into telling this story. And I don't know if I've told you before, but when I first started writing it, which was some years ago, I think I may have did maybe a chapter or 2, maybe not even that many. But I sort of put it on the back burner because I sort of lost my esteem in writing this book. I sort of lost my direction into how I wanted it to go. So I put it on the back burner and I moved on to something else and wrote a couple of more books. And those will be coming out too, hopefully over the next few years. We'll see. But one day it just came to me. I started getting these ideas and seeing scenes of this book, If Tomorrow Comes, and I was like, well, I guess it's time to pick it back up again and start working on it, and that's what I did. And so now we have like a 1,000-page book. Of course, it's in two books, 1 and 2, but still, that's the thing about being creative. You can't force it. Creativity is something that comes naturally. And you have to allow it to, to take its own course. You can't force it, because that just doesn't work if you do that. If you force it, if you force anything, you'll either break it or it's just going to be a big old mess. And you don't want that. You don't ever want that. So if you're working on anything, and like I said, if the creativity is not flowing, put it to the side and just leave it alone. And I guarantee you, it'll come back to you. It will definitely come back to you, and go work on something else. Because I've heard many authors say the same thing, that they have been working on something, and for one reason or another, it's like they lost sight of how they wanted the story to go, or couldn't quite develop the characters. I had the characters developed in my mind, but when I first wrote the character of Nina, I had her, she was just a little bit weak, just put it that way. And, I didn't think that was going to work because, first of all, she was born and raised in New York, in downtown Manhattan. So, she had to have some bulk about her. She had to have some meat about her. She had to have some strength about her, and in her character, and everything about her. Her personality, which she's a very sweet girl, but still she had to have a strong personality in order to survive. And, like I said, if you haven't read the synopsis of the book, Nina is, she's attacked and left for dead. And, she's a fighter. She's a survivor. She survived all of that, being left out in the middle of winter, cold, freezing cold and bleeding, but that's the story, and I want you to read it for yourself, and I hope that you will buy the book, and that you will tell other people about the book, because it will make a great Christmas gift. And like I said, it's on sale right now at Amazon and other bookstores, online bookstores. I know a lot of people deal with Amazon because you can order more than just books from them. But I'm pretty I think it's on Google Plus too. Google Books, if I'm not mistaken. It's probably on iBooks as well. And it's available in ebook and also in paperback. And so just whichever one you prefer. If you are tech savvy, then of course you would want it in an ebook. But if you're old school and you want to have the feel of pages beneath your fingers, then you would want to get the paperback book. And like I said, buy them and give them out as Christmas gifts to your family, especially the females in your family. I think they would appreciate a great story wrapped up in a pretty package outside and inside. But like I said, Christmas is next Sunday, and this Sunday is, of course, worship day. And if you don't have a church home, definitely, go to church with a family member, with a friend, with someone, because I understand there's so many people, they don't have a church home, but they desire to know more about the Lord. And so this is your way, for those who are listening, this is your way to invite those family members, those friends that may have lost direction along the way, for you to try to help steer them back in the right direction. And Sunday, worship day, to me is one of the best gifts that you can give a person, is the word, because we all need it. But tomorrow is we're having our Christmas celebration at church, and we're going to exchange gifts. We're going to have Chinese Christmas, and I don't know if everyone is familiar with that, but it's where you give a gift, it's numbered, and then you get the corresponding, everybody's given a number, and if that number is called, then you get the gift that matches it. And the great part about it is, if you should happen to get a gift and you're female and the gift is for a male, then you can exchange it, for a female gift. So I think that's why I love Chinese Christmas so much. But, what I love more than anything is the fellowshipping of my my brothers and sisters in Christ. And, how we're able to do this not only on special occasions, but we do this every Sunday. And I just want everyone else to enjoy that family atmosphere, because a lot of people don't have that in their own personal homes. But, we all need to fellowship. We all need to be around like-minded people who will uplift us, inspire us, and to get the word, to get the word in us. And, not just keep it in us, but to spread it, to spread the gospel, spread the good news. And that's why I love Christmas so much, because of our Savior. And that, to me, is the greatest gift of all. And it's why we give gifts on Christmas Day. So, I've been listening to the Christmas music, the holiday music here for the past few weeks. And, it gets me in the mood, which I love Christmas anyway. But for some reason this year, it just seems as though Christmas came so fast. It's like, wait a minute, December just got here. I still haven't done this and I haven't done that. But, I'm going to get it done. I have confidence in myself that I will get it done. So it's just a matter of prioritizing, which I do that. But I will get it done. But like I said, first and foremost, I had to do this show, and I hope that something that I said today was helpful to you. I know that it was short and sweet, but still, in those few words, there is a lot of information packed in there. So I want to make sure that that I am giving you the max of whatever it is that you stand in the need of. That's my goal on Saturdays when I do this show, is to help. And that's what I want to do. I think that's my mission. That is my ministry, to my desire to help, not to hoard the information that I have, but to share it with so many other people that are looking, for someone and something to guide them along this journey. But remember don't ever hamper your creativity. Let it flow. Whatever it's in. If you write lyrics, if you write poetry, if you write books, whatever it is, whatever your creativity lies, then you need to let it flow and let it flow naturally. Once again, tomorrow is worship day, but for today, tell somebody that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. So if you have the opportunity today to tell them, please do that, just for me. Well, I hope that you will enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend. It's rainy here, but we've been needing this rain for quite a while, and now we're getting it. But I'm just glad that it came after We got the cold weather last week where the temperatures were like in the 20s, and I don't think that it really got above freezing a couple of days. But thank God that we didn't get the rain during that time, because it really would have been a mess, and nobody would have been able to get as much done as possible before the holidays. But once again, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Monday comes all so quickly. But next week, pretty much like the whole month of December has been a month of celebrations. And then, of course, next Sunday is Christmas Day. Next Saturday is Christmas Eve. That will not stop me from being able to do the show. Actually, I look forward to it. And I just hope that everyone has a blessed holiday. And keep your spirits up. Get your shopping done, get your menu made, all of those things that's necessary for Christmas Day. But until then, until next week, I thank you once again for listening to the show. Like I said, every week the stats are going up, and I do appreciate it so very much to be able to do this show just one day a week. And to have the amount of people that are actually tuning into the show is a wonderful thing. And like I said, that inspires me, that keeps me going. And I just wanted to say thank you and Merry Christmas once again. I do appreciate you so very much. And I just want to say God bless and good night.